The song you just played, of all the things you've written, if I may say so, is my particular favorite, called Two for the Road. It's from the movie,
Yeah.
of course.
It's my favorite, too.
Is
That's
it?
pretty.
You know, our tenor man and our very gifted gentleman, Vince Trombetta, wrote that for a string quartet, or on a chart for a string quartet, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they did it at your wedding, didn't they, Vince? Yeah, he loves that song.
And they're still together, I hope.
Yes, indeed. What is a composer's job in writing a movie score, as you see it?
Well, if it's done well, it ends up talking about it with you 10 years after it's finished, you see. And it's, I don't know what it is. It's a combination of things. Sometimes music is very helpful, you know, and I've never heard it, I've never seen where it can save a film from being a bad one, but if everything works right, then it's marvelous, you know. People remember.
Do they always complete the film before
Yes,
you've done, and then you go in and look at it, and you have to figure out what to do and
I
where?
did one for David last year, Once It's Not Enough.
Once it's not enough. Some people said, yes, it is.
We go back, you know, with a long, long way.
Hank and I were under contract to Universal in different capacities.
Yeah.
He was there, you know, writing music and scoring films.
He was
fledgling.
one of the stars on the lot.
Yeah.
Who was
Clint
making
Eastwood-
more money?
Well, Clint Eastwood and Dennis Weaver.
I was.
Myself, Hugh O'Brien, somebody else.
Yeah.
We all shared a dressing room. A little nail up there in the back.
On a door.
A nail.
He used to get
Goodbye.
very, very upset with me because I was making more money than he was, you know, and he
It's
was a
true.
big star,
Yeah.
you know, in all the pictures.
What is one of your movie songs that helped make the movie? You said it doesn't always help make the movie, but in some cases...
Well, I think
many
the combination of things in the Pink Panther, of course. By the way, there's a new one, a new
I
Inspector
know.
Clouseau picture coming out Christmas time.
They're
Pink
my
Panther
favorites.
Strikes Back.
They're
Huh?
my favorites. I love those
Oh,
pictures.
yeah,
I
he's
can
a-
watch them over and over again.
Yeah, they have that kind of timeless quality, I think.
But he's marvelous.
I want to show this, if I may, to camera. I know this is not going to make Hank unhappy. I was asking you about this cover, and it's funny, it doesn't look like that. And yet it gets, there's an awful lot in here.
There's
Awful lot in here.
Yeah, it's the cop show themes, and we have Berettas and SWAT, Rockford, and their mystery movie theme. That's one of mine, the one they play.
Policewoman, Hawaii Five-0.
On Harry
Bumpers
O.
theme.
On Harry O,
Kojak.
we were too
Harry
cheap
O?
to hire
Well,
you.
you're not on this year. I'm sorry.
Streets
you
of
blew
San
it.
Francisco, and of course the ones that we remember are Mr. Lucky and
Yeah.
Peter Gunn, are two of the first ones you did, which
Yeah.
really had a tremendous impact.
They're having a resurgence, I guess, on records.
Indeed they
TV
are.
themes.
Yeah.
You know.
That was a great
Some
thing,
nice
Peter
ones there.
Gunn.
What's your current cop show theme?
Well, I have two that are on there. The mystery movie, you know. Sounds different without that. Woo!
That's it. What is that, a theremin
No, that instrument is actually a Yamaha organ, and it's played with in the original there's a strip above the keyboard, and it's a felt strip, and you put your finger on it and it activates a sound. So actually the guy was going to like that. So that's the way it is.
It'd be marvelous to have that on your throat and be able to do that when you...
We got Bumper's theme in there too. That's from George Kennedy's
Blue Night?
Blue
Blue
Night.
Night.
Blue
Yeah,
Night.
yeah.
Well, Henry and I have planned a little medley of 3 songs, which you collaborated with the great Johnny Mercer, whom we all loved. He was unique. And the one thing
Yeah,
about
that's
Johnny...
putting it mildly, I must say.
It really is,
Yeah.
but the one thing about Johnny that, well, among many things, is that he always had the title of the song in the very first line. Almost always, yeah.
Yes, but he did some funny things, very unusual things, and lyricists will be studying Johnny's work for a long time.
The one thing I asked you about before the show, and the one thing that the first time I encountered it, I said to myself, nobody can write a lyric like that. It's not right. Who wrote that? And somebody said, Johnny Mercer. I said, well, then it's right.
You mean the
But toward a
it, yeah,
closing
yeah.
door in A Day of Wine and Roses. I mean,
He was always pushing, you know, like in the one thing that we but it's the only time, unless I'm mistaken, that a song has been started with word often. You know, often I think this, whatever it was.
Well, what I think is
That's
I'm going
right.
to let you guys sing some
Aren't you
music.
gonna sing?
No, no, I'm going to dance my way over to Lynn. Be right back.
what made that such a marvelous collaboration between you and Johnny?
Well, it's what makes a lot of marriages, I think, you're not thrown together too often for too long, you know? It's a matter of being apart, because I would write my part of it in most of the cases. I would, like, Moon River was written long before was written long before Moon River.
Long before
And
the
I would
lyric came
just
along.
give Johnny the lyric, and he would take it home. I'd make a cassette or a record. And
The
he would-
lyric, or you mean
no,
the melody?
The melody.
The melody.
And he loved to work like that. He would much rather do it that way, because it threw him in, it took him out of the form, out of the mold, you know.
Mhm.
And then it forced him into putting his mind to work to the melody. And this
Whatever it
threw him
was.
into some beautiful things, you know, like, of course, Days of Wine and Roses. It's probably the only song ever written that only has 2 sentences. The first 16 is 1 sentence, and the second 16 is another sentence. If you sat down and tried to do that on purpose,
It wouldn't
there's no way in
happen.
the world. But he did it, and he wasn't trying to be smart or anything. He just,
It
it's
just
the way,
worked for him.
It just worked.
Well, here's a Mancini Mercer song from the 1963 Cary Grant movie. When we played our charade, we were like children posing, playing at games, acting out names, guessing the parts we played. Oh, what a hit we made. We came on next to closing, best on the bill, lovers until love left the masquerade. Fate seemed to pull the strings. I turned and you were gone, while from the darkened wings the music box played on. Sad little serenade, song of my heart's composing. I hear it still, I always will. Best on the bill, charade. And Henry and John won an Academy Award in 1962 for a terrific Jack Lemmon movie. The days of wine and roses, love away like a child at play through a meadowland toward a closing door, a door marked nevermore. That wasn't there before. A lonely night discloses just a passing breeze filled with memories of the golden smile that introduced me to the days of wine and roses Here's just one of the best songs ever, and I can't help but think, but not too old Blue Eyes when I hear this.
Yeah.
Andy, he really did a job on this. This won an Oscar for Johnny and Hank Mancini in 1961 movie Breakfast at Tiffany's. Moon River.